Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. For today's analysis, we'll be diving into a thought-provoking article by Hanna. It's titled A Reflection on Identity, AI, and Our Profession, and it was published on LinkedIn back on March 1st, 2026. We're going to explore his perspective on what the age of AI means for the future of technical communication. So at the very heart of Hanna's reflection is this idea of a profession at a crossroads. It's grappling with some pretty profound questions about its own future. And of course, the big driver behind all this uncertainty is the rapid rise of generative AI. And that brings us to the fundamental question that seems to be causing so much anxiety throughout the industry. Will generative AI make the role of the technical writer completely obsolete? Hanna decides to confront this fear head-on. But right away, he completely reframes the debate. In his view, the existential threat isn't the technology at all. The real danger, he argues, is a long-standing failure within the profession to fully grasp and then articulate its own true value. And this is really where his core argument begins to take shape. He suggests that this challenge isn't new. It's a deep, long-standing issue of professional identity, one that has been around for decades, long before anyone was talking about AI. To illustrate this, Hanna gives us some compelling historical context from his own career. He takes us back about 20 years ago to his time on the board of the Society for Technical Communication, the STC. Even back then, the question, what do we actually do, was a constant struggle. He calls this a period of identity ambiguity, and it continued for years, eventually contributing to the STC's dissolution in early 2025. So you see, the anxiety around AI isn't some new disease. It's a symptom of a much older condition. So to really address this identity crisis, Hanna insists that we have to look past the simple label of writing. We need to dissect the true cognitive work that these professionals are actually performing. And here, he makes a really critical distinction. On one side, you have what AI does best, generating text. It's the mechanical production of words. But on the other side is the human domain, exercising judgment. This is the cognitive act of understanding risk, nuance, and user confusion, and ultimately of being accountable for the clarity of the information. He then breaks down what he sees as the core skills that really define the profession. It isn't about typing. It's about extracting the signal from the noise, identifying what information is missing, resolving ambiguity, structuring knowledge so it can be found, and contextualizing it for specific users. These are all high-level analytical tasks that go way beyond what an AI can do by itself. And Hanna really stresses that this is a specialized expertise. He says, and I'm quoting him here, that is not a common skill set. It is not trivial, and it is not widely distributed across the general population. It represents a deep, intellectual discipline that you can't just easily replicate. Okay, so with this deeper understanding of the profession's true value, we can start to see AI in a new light. It's not so much a threat, but more of a powerful ally. Now, Hanna acknowledges the negative narrative that's out there. He sees professionals who seem to be buying into the idea that their role is obsolete. And that fear can become a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, especially when companies use it to justify layoffs and devalue the work. But he directly counters this narrative with evidence from his own team. He states it unequivocally. His AI-enabled writers are not being replaced. On the contrary, their capabilities are being amplified, which frees them up to focus on that higher value work we just talked about. And this isn't the first time the field has faced a major tech disruption. Things like structured authoring, XML, and content management systems all force the profession to adapt and redefine its value. Hanna's point is that AI is simply the next major step in this ongoing evolution. So what's the path forward? It's not about resisting technology. It's about clearly defining and delivering professional value. Hanna presents us with a pretty clear choice here. If you define yourself by your output, the sheer volume of words you produce, then you're always going to feel threatened by AI. But if you define yourself by the value you create through judgment, clarity, and structure, then you'll simply evolve and integrate AI as another powerful tool in your toolkit. This all culminates in what is really his ultimate thesis. The core function of this profession was never about the act of typing. It has always been about the intellectual process of making complex knowledge truly usable for other people. And this leads to a powerful and maybe even a counterintuitive conclusion.
In a world that is quickly becoming saturated with AI-generated content, just an ocean of text, that human skill of curating, structuring, and clarifying information doesn't become less important. It becomes more critical than ever. The more noise there is, the more valuable the signal becomes.
So the question you should be asking yourself is no longer a passive one about being replaced. The real, strategic question is an active one. How will you, with these powerful new tools, continue to do the essential work of making knowledge usable? Thank you for watching. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee or hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. Please subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel. Like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.